Welcome to this special Earth Day service as we celebrate 50 years, a tradition that was established in 1970 to help us take time out to regard our relationship with the environment and to recommit ourselves to doing all we can for the planet. I'd like to thank two members of our outreach division, Jane Gillespie and Josh Noiseux, for their participation in this service. As we begin, I invite you to be still and listen to the words that Jane reads for us. She's reading a wonderful poem by John Seuss called To Be of the Earth.
A poem by John Seuss. To be of the earth is to know the restlessness of being a seed, the darkness of being planted, the struggle toward the light, the pain of growth into the light, the joy of bursting and bearing fruit, the love of being food for someone, the scattering of your seeds, the decay of the seasons, the mystery of death, and the miracle of birth.
Following on Jane's reading, I'd like to read to you a poem by May Sarton. It's actually one that was written for Easter, and we're so close to Easter and the celebration of new life that I think it fits really perfectly. So imagine yourself at that very first Easter morning with the dew still on the grass, and join with me in celebrating these words by May Sarton. The extreme delicacy of this Easter morning spoke to me as a prayer and as a warning. It was light on the brink, spring light, after a rain that gentled my dark night. I walk through landscapes I had never seen, where the fresh grass has just begun to green, and its roots, watered deep, sprung to my tread. The maples wore a cloud of feathery red, but flowering trees still showed their clear design against the pale blue brightness, chilled like wine. And I was praying all the time I walked, while starlings flew about and talked, somewhere and everywhere, like spoke the word. The dead trees woke, each bush held its bird. I prayed for delicate love and difficult, that all be gentle now and know no fault, that all be patient. As a wild rabbit fled sudden before me, dear love, I would have said, and to each bird that flew up from the wood, I would be gentler still, if I could. For on this Easter morning it would seem the softest football danger is extreme. And so I prayed to be less than the grass, and yet to feel the presence that might pass. I made a prayer. I heard the answer. Wait, when all is so in peril, so delicate. And now, Josh will be leading us in a prayer that helps us explore our relationship with the earth, and this is the piece for which you will need a little bit of rosemary. If all you have is dried rosemary, that's okay too. It's all about scent, the fragrance, to engage our whole body. And now, a prayer.
This is an Earth Day meditation, adapted from a United Nations Sabbath service entitled Only One Earth. Hi, Ida. During this time of prayer, we invite you to hold a sprig of rosemary, or some dried rosemary if that's all you have. Rosemary is an herb symbolic of remembrance.
Creator God, we have forgotten who we are. We have alienated ourselves from the unfolding of the cosmos. We have become estranged from the movements of the earth. We have turned our backs on the cycles of life. We have forgotten who we are.
God of the cosmos, we have sought only our own security. We've exploited simply for our own ends. We've distorted our knowledge. We've abused our power.
We have forgotten who we are. Now the land is barren, and the waters are poisoned, and the air is polluted.
We have forgotten who we are. Now the forests are dying, the creatures are disappearing, and the humans are despairing. We have forgotten
who we are.
Despairing means feeling very, very sad.
Renewing and recreating God, we ask forgiveness. We ask for the gift of remembering. We ask for the strength to change.
Now we invite you to slightly crush the rosemary in your hands to release the fragrance.
Hey, I need the rosemary.
Yeah, great. Good, and then you can put it back in the jar. Oh God, as we inhale the scent of the rosemary, help us to remember. We remember the healing powers you have given to earth, the cleansing powers of the waters, the purifying waters of the sun and the trees, the many plants and oils that have soothed wounds and cured disease. We remember earth's healing powers.
Oh God, help us to remember. We remember Jesus Christ, the wounded healer, who suffers our pains and the pains of the earth, who in his suffering, dying and rising, sets free your life-giving power for the healing and mending of all creation. We remember
Christ, the wounded healer. Oh God, help us to remember. We remember that you created our hands to mend and heal, to nurture and tend to earth and all earth's creatures.
Amen.
We remember that we are created for healing and nurturing life.
Amen.
Amen, that's right.
Now can you watch it?
With the scent of the rosemary still fresh in our noses and on our hands, what a gift. We dedicate ourselves to caring for all of creation, to offer our very best when we have an opportunity to make a difference. And we will teach this to our children's children, to care for the earth, that she may continue to sustain all who live upon it. Have a wonderful Earth Hour. I hope that you find opportunity for stillness and reconnection to our beloved Earth. Go in peace. Amen.